introduce the candidates now for District Judge in the 34th Judicial District Court, Division C. The candidates in alphabetical order: Kim Jones, Greg Noto, and Darren Roy. Candidates will be allowed to provide an opening statement. We'll ask a total of 4 questions, and then we will have closing remarks. The opening statement will be 1 minute long. Question responses will be 1.5 minutes, and the closing statement will be 2 minutes long. We will begin this portion of the forum with your opening statements. You each have 1 minute, and we begin with Mrs. Jones.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm Kim Cooper Jones, and I'm a candidate for District C Judge in St. Bernard Parish. I'm very honored to be seeking a position to serve the people of St. Bernard. I've been married to my husband Alvin for 24 years this November, and we have 2 children, Emily, a senior at Chalmette High School, and Adam, who attends Trist Middle School. I'm a graduate of Andrew Jackson High School, class of 1987, and I attended New Orleans University, where I got my BA in Political Science in 1990, summa cum laude. I earned my law degree from Loyola Law School in 1993, and I interned at the New Orleans District Attorney's Office for 2 years before going into private practice for 21 years in St. Bernard Parish, where I've handled numerous cases of civil and both criminal, and have a wide variety of experience in those areas. I have a large record of community service and have been very civically involved, and I'm very honored to be a part of this race and seeking a position to serve the people of this parish. Thank you.
Mr. Noto.
Thank you, sir. I am Greg Noto, and I'm running for Division C. And one of the things I've found out over the past few weeks, knocking on doors, is people ask me, where is Division C? Well, Division C is from Araby to the end of the world. So everybody in the parish can vote for us. We're not limited to Council District C or whatever. But besides that, I have 30 years experience as a lawyer. I practiced 30 years. This coming Friday will be exactly 30 years. You couple that with my 12 years as a New Orleans police officer, I have 42 years experience in the system. That says a lot about what I can do. I have civil litigation, criminal litigation, plus I've done 10 years, 10 and a half years with Mr. Rowley in the district attorney's office. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that to use for the people in this parish. My experience in both civil and criminal will be very beneficial to our residents, to our parish. And I'm going to talk about my civic responsibilities in my closing argument because I've run out of time. Thank you.
Mr. Roy.
Good evening. My name is Darren Roy. I'm a candidate for Judge of Division C in St. Bernard Parish. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I thank the Chamber for this event. For the last 20 years, I've helped keep the people of St. Bernard safe as an assistant district attorney in the office of Jack Rowley. I grew up in Araby. I now reside in Chalmette. I attended my grammar school days in Araby. 1985 honors graduate of Holy Cross High School. Worked my way through LSU, graduated in business from LSU in 1989. I graduated from Middle Law School in 1993. During law school, I worked as a law clerk in the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office in the trial and appellate divisions. I worked for Judge Robert Cleese, the Louisiana 4th Circuit Court of Appeal. And my civil experience includes 10 years of private practice. I've taught paralegal night courses at New Orleans Community College for the last 7 years. I look forward to our discussion tonight.
All right. Let's go to the questions. Question 1. What do you consider the most important quality of a judge? And why? And we'll begin with Mr. Noto.
I think a couple of things. One is you have to have the ability to listen. You have to be able to listen to all sides. You can't come to court with preconceived notions about who you like and who you don't like, who's going to win and who's not going to win. You have to listen to the evidence. You have to weigh it up against the law and make some decisions. That's the legal. But the reality is you have to be available. You have to have an open door policy. You can't just tune out the citizens of the parish. You have to be available to individuals. They need help from judges sometimes, whether it's to help get one of their loved ones in a rehab facility, whether it's to get somebody on probation, to maybe help them get a better place in life. But you have to be available. You can't hide. Those are the 2 qualities I think that judges need in this parish. all judges, not just this parish, but any judge, you have to be able to be accessible. You have to listen. You have to listen closely to what people are saying. Once you do that, once your ears are open, then maybe you can do the right thing for the citizens of St. Bernard.
Mrs. Jones.
I think that the most important quality for a judge is knowledge of the law. As a intern in the New Orleans District Attorney's Office for 2 years, I have the experience of the prosecution side of the law. Then my heart was in St. Bernard as well as my family, so I practiced private practice for 21 years in St. Bernard Parish, practicing in both the civil and the criminal realm of the law. I have many cases of appellate experience where I've argued before many appellate courts as well as before the Supreme Court of Louisiana. So I have the most diverse experience of all the candidates in this race. I'm prepared in the law, but I'm also prepared in life. I have a child with special needs, and I know the struggles that many families go through. And I think that in order to judge people, you have to know people. I'm a lifelong resident of St. Bernard Parish. I've taught my family that we've lived every day in St. Bernard Parish, and it's important to give back to the people here. And we've lived our life that way. I'm a part of many organizations, including Families Helping Families, Kiwanis. I help plan Special Olympics, and I put a lot of dedication into our parish, and I think that shows in my experience as well as my dedication to this community. Thank you.
Mr. Roy.
Well, to me, if you want to be a judge, it has to be a calling. It has to be a vocation. It has to be to do with your life. I've been very lucky in my life in that I've always known what I wanted to do. A lot of people struggle with that question, but I never have. I always knew I wanted to be a prosecutor. I always knew I wanted to be a judge to help the community and help the people around me. But the type of experience of a candidate is very important also. I have 20 years of working with law enforcement, working closely with our sheriff's office to help prosecute cases. I've handled thousands of dockets. I've handled thousands of cases that have come through St. Bernard Parish. I've touched almost every case, every criminal case that's come through St. Bernard Parish in the past 20 years. I've practiced at all levels of the judiciary. I've done trial courts. I've done hundreds of judge trials. I've practiced in front of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal. I have practiced in front of the Louisiana Supreme Court. I also believe that temperament is important. You need someone that's going to treat people fairly, justly, with respect, and with dignity, no matter where they come from.
All right, the second question. What is the most significant legal matter that you have personally handled? And describe its significance to you. Mr. Roy, you may begin.
Well, in my job, I'm a workaday prosecutor, and what I mean by that, I'm a lunch pail guy. I go to work every day, and I won't say I fight a battle every day, but I have a commitment every day to doing my job and doing my job well. And like I said, I've handled thousands of cases every year. Almost every criminal case in St. Bernard Parish comes through my hands at least some point in the process. So for me to pick out one case is difficult. One of the cases I took to the Louisiana Supreme Court was difficult for me because I did not personally agree with the law that I was defending, but that is my job as an assistant DA to uphold the laws of the state, and I did my job and I won the case. So I'm a workaday guy, and I fight every day to help keep the people here safe.
Mrs. Jones.
The most significant case that I ever handled was also between parents that had an avowal action before the Louisiana State Supreme Court. It was a very an honored experience to go before the Supreme Court because they only consider important cases where law could be changed. And so in arguing that case and winning that case, we made law. And so that case holds a lot of significance to me in that we changed the course of people's lives, and it affected people's lives and continues to do so today. And so despite the fact that I've handled thousands of cases over my 21 years of experience, that case continues to affect the way the laws are interpreted and affects parents on a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
Mr. Noto.
Thank you. After practicing law for 30 years, it's difficult for me to sit up here and say one case which I think sticks out. I can sit and talk forever, but I'm going to say one group of cases that I think are special to me. As a police officer years ago, I investigated sex abuse cases, child crimes like that. As a prosecutor for the past few years in the district attorney's office, had the occasion to deal with those. And those are the most touching, the most troubling ones, to see how someone may have been abused, to see how the system works for them to assist them in their tribulations and trials with sex abuse. Those are the things that have touched my heart over the past several years. It's not just one case. I can't just pick out one, and I'm not going to talk about just one. But I'm going to talk about what it does to you, how it affects you, how you want to have a good result. You want to have the father or the mother or the child happy. No matter what happens at the outcome at the end of the case, you want them to be happy. You want that child to seek the necessary therapy and help. And those are the kind of things that make it worthwhile doing what I do.
All right, question 3. Do you believe in capital punishment? Please answer only yes or no. Mr. Noda.
Yes.
Mr. Roy.
I'm not going to follow your rule. It depends on the facts and circumstances of the case. And as a judge, that's what you should do. You have to follow the law, but each case has to be considered on its own merits.
Ms. Jones.
In general, yes.
Final question. Who are the 2 greatest legal minds that you hope to emulate, and why? Mrs. Jones.
I could go for some of the obvious answers and all the great men and women in history who have helped create law, but I'm going to talk about 2 people that are more personal to me and have affected me personally in my life. One was a law school professor, Father Lawrence Moore, and he taught me to love the law, and that law helps people, and that it's calling that can make a big difference in people's lives, and certainly can affect the way that you live your life. I've always believed that if you want to improve your own life, you have to help to improve the lives of those around you. And so he taught me that, and taught me that law is not just a job, law is a calling, and law is a way to affect the lives of others and to make this world a better place. The second person is much more personal to me, and that's my law partner, Mike Gennard. What he taught me is that truth is more important than anything else. And I think for a judge, the most important quality to consider is the truth and justice, and making sure that every single case you hear both sides, you weigh the evidence, you consult the law, and you make sure that the goal is to find the truth. And it's always said that if you find the truth, then everything else will fall into place and everything else will be right. So I'm going to say that those are the 2 people that have influenced me the most. Thank you.
Mr. Noda.
One of them is, for us old people, Judge McBride. He was a judge, I believe, from 68 to 84, I think, or something. Judge Buckley took his seat when Judge McBride passed. McBride taught me about law books. Even though I just finished law school in 84, McBride taught me that there's something in those books, son. Read the books. And he taught me that. And every time I was in his courtroom, he preached to me about the books, the Code of Civil Procedure, about looking in the law books. And I guess maybe I didn't learn it in law school, but Judge McBride taught me that. You need to look at the law. And the law is what controls your decisions. And I followed what he has said to me. And I've followed for the past 30 years. The other person is Jack Rowley. I've been around Mr. Jack for 30 years. For the last 10 and a half years, I've been one of his assistant DAs. And him and I have had numerous discussions about law. He always seems to have the right answer. He knows what the answer should be. And if he doesn't know where it is, he knows where to find it in the law books. And I've always been amazed at how he can come up with the answer. He understands the question, and I've tried to emulate that. I've tried to understand what the question is, what the issues are, and answer it accordingly based on what the law is. And with Judge McBride saying, look at the law